What's up, Faith family? Jarvis Guy and the Voyager Arts YT here, and welcome back to another Diecast Review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Hot Wheels 2 Jet Z cars. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a good one for you today. These are some very, very interesting cars. Contrary to what you might think at first glance, these are actually not Hot Wheels original cars. These are actually licensed cars. These do actually exist in real life, and they're pretty accurate to the real thing, aside from the fronts being a little off, because as far as I can tell, this little slope here is supposed to go farther back, and this part isn't supposed to be as long. And it's not like these were actually made in mass production, but this is still a licensed design. And when I first found that out, I was absolutely astonished. In the description, I'm going to put a link to a Jay Leno's Garage video where he actually drives these things, and I'll throw an image of that up on the screen right now. Very interesting story behind this car that I'm not going to go into now because we're just focusing on the diecast for this review. But these two models in particular, this one was released in 2020, even though it has a copyright date of 2019, in the Hot Wheels Dream Garage series of cars. And this red one right here was released in the 2020 or 2021 Rod Squad series of cars. So they're both just different variants of the same car, just recolored, which is par for the course with Hot Wheels. They are very technically different with their molds, and this is a very small difference right here. The I guess back exhaust pipe, if you want to call it that, or the back extrusion is rounded off. It's sort of hemispherical, and this one is more flat, as you can see. So yeah, not much of a discernible difference between these two cars, but that difference is still there, and I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't point that out. And also, another difference, there's sort of some bolting here, as you can see. This is very difficult. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there is some bolting right here by the windows that is not present on this car, even though the bolting is present everywhere else, which I guess is just a weird thing. It might be there slightly, but it's barely noticeable, and that's yet another difference between these two molds. I think this is indeed a 2021 model, because I picked this up late last year, before I ever got this, which I bought at a collector show. So I guess I always have had some sort of an affinity for this car, that and apparently a very poor memory. But jumping right into the just design of these cars, these are just amazing. It's a really nice compact design, but you can really tell that it just has sort of an aerodynamic feel. And I mean, even when you look at it from the front, it looks like the cockpit of a fighter jet, which was, the original point of this car, when you consider its real life counterpart. It was custom designed to be a performance car with a fighter jet aesthetic. And I think the real life counterpart of this car really succeeds in that. And I think the diecast version of this car really succeeds in that. Man, this car is just designed so well. And it's so lightweight too. It's so lightweight too. There's not a lot of nonsense on it. It looks like a Hot Wheels original car, but it's not. This is based on something that already came before, but I got to give props to the original designer, because this is just so well done. And especially the painting on this. The painting on this is just superb. This one looks to be a sort of more experimental testing model. I think this was I think this was the first of its type ever produced, or at least the first variant. And this one right here has a more typical Hot Wheels design that you would expect from this sort of thing, sort of a shark thing going on. So yeah, again, these are just very well done cars. And I think that if I ever started to get into Hot Wheels racing the cars between each other, I think these cars in particular would very likely outperform the rest, just because you can see the aerodynamicism in its design. It just looks like it looks like it was built to go fast. And that's one of the great things that it inherits from its real life counterpart. And the paint jobs on these are just amazing. Look at the red on this. It's just so glossy, and they do it without making it look cheap. I think that was very well done. The colors on this they work so well. The mold on this is extremely well done. And same goes for this one too. The silver, it makes it look sufficiently different from this one, to the point where, to me, they almost feel like entirely different cars. And I mean, you can tell that they're the exact same mold, but the color choices were just so well done on here. I gotta commend them, man. One thing I will say, the tires on the red one, not a fan of this. On the sort of the glossy rims they have on the tires, on a lot of these Hot Wheels cars, you can already tell this is already sort of starting to come off, and that always just aggravates me. That's why I'm never for Mattel using this sort of rim design. It just wears off so easily, and I haven't even used it that much. I took it out the package less than 72 hours ago, and it looks like that. That's ridiculous. They used the same material on the silver 2Jet Z, but it hasn't worn off as bad. I'm not entirely sure about the exact usage of this car. I mean, it's only 2 or 3 years old at this point, but the paint on here seems to have held up a lot better, even though it's still wearing off. And like I said before, they shouldn't use that material unless they're not going to go with a spoke to wheel design, or else it's just going to come off incredibly easy, especially with the smaller wheels at the front. But that's really the only criticism I have to levy against these particular vehicles. They're just, again, extremely well done, good color choices, good body design. I don't know. These would be true standouts in any collection, and if you see them, I would highly recommend picking them up. I got them for pretty cheap, and if I recall correctly, I do think they still make them to this day. Latest models were either this year or last year, and with just how good these look and how well I think that they would sell, because I'm sure they'd be popular with collectors, kids, everyone, I don't think Mattel is going to stop making these anytime soon. These are some very good cars, and commendations to the original designer, and just Hot Wheels for throwing this one together. I can't praise these cars enough. So yeah, with that said, that's all I have to say on the 2020 and 2021 Hot Wheels 2 Jet Z. Yeah, with that's all I have to say. Thank you all very much for watching. Yeah, that'll be it for me. Driver's gotten out. Have a great night.